We're going to start with how to get a good night's rest with Alanna McGinn, of course, our sleep expert. Come on in, Alanna. Coming into bed with me. Yay! So we did get you out of your pajamas for a few episodes of Cityline. We're right back into your snuggly pajamas now, because this is a topic I will never get sick of talking about. I'm nutty about sleep. I love to sleep, and I would love to get more. So before we get into the rules, talk to me a little bit about this thing that I heard. Women require more sleep than men?
They do. Studies show that women need 20 more minutes of sleep per night than men.
You're going to say 20 more hours. I'm like, you're darn right.
But here's the thing, we're not getting either. Minutes or hours.
Right.
And the reason for that is women tend to multitask more. We tend to exert more mental energy, so we need more sleep. And like I said, we're not getting it.
Okay, so we are going to help you try to get sleep. You've got a formula that we're going to be following. What's the formula?
We are going to be talking about the 10-3-2-1-0 sleep rules. So these are rules that we implement at nighttime to create a great nighttime routine so that we get a great night of sleep.
10 hours. What are we talking about in the 10 hours? What should we not be doing 10 hours before sleep?
10 hours, we want to cut out the caffeine.
Ooh,
and this is dependent, because some people are more sensitive to caffeine than others. I am not that person that can drink a cup before they go to bed. I wish I could, but I'm not. But caffeine is a stimulant, so it suppresses our melatonin. It takes 15 minutes for caffeine to enter our bloodstream and 10 hours for it to be removed. So
that's a long time.
It is a long time. So if you feel like you are more sensitive, you want to curb it at least by noon, both liquid and food. Think too, like chocolate, anything you're eating with caffeine, you want to avoid it at least 10 hours before you go to bed.
10 hours, okay. Your next number is 3?
3.
3 hours before bed, what should we not be doing?
This is alcohol, and that's hard because a lot of people look at that glass of wine as a relaxer, which I get. I'm like that too. And it can help them fall asleep, but it interrupts our REM sleep phase while we're sleeping. So it doesn't promote a great night of sleep. So 90 minutes after we fall asleep, we enter that REM state of sleep. This is where our brain is more active. We are getting more mentally restorative sleep, and alcohol can fragment, as it leaves our body, can fragment that phase, which pushes us into sleep inertia. Sleep inertia is the state when we wake up and we're feeling kind of groggy and foggy. Think of it like a sleep hangover. You don't feel great. So this is where you want to curb that alcohol. Instead, go to maybe like a mocktail, right, for dinner. So TikTok right now is showing the Sleepy Girl mocktail. So it consists of tart cherry juice, 100% tart cherry juice, magnesium powder, and a soda water. A lot of the recipes are calling for like really sugary soda waters. You also don't want to drink a huge sugary glass of anything before you go to bed, so just be careful with that. But cherry juice has melatonin, it has tryptophan, so it's going to improve our sleep quality, it's going to improve our sleep efficiency, and then magnesium calms the body down. So that could be a good alternative to that glass of wine, right?
Also, tart cherry is really good for muscle restoration. So like if you have a hard day at the gym, last week was a bad week for my legs. I needed some tart cherry juice for recovery. And I know immediately when I have a glass of wine, I'm going to have a bad sleep. Isn't that so sad?
Well, and you know what, I'm the same way, but we still do it, right?
Yeah, we do.
I know we do.
But now I've just got to do it earlier, according to Alanna. Okay, the next rule is a tough one, especially for those of us who are working from home. Tell us what we should not be doing 2 hours before bed.
This is where we have to have that clock out time for work. And here's the thing, whether you work from home or you work in an office, we're always connected to something. So we're always answering that email, working on that work project. So you need to set those boundaries. So things like at the start of the day, write out a to-do list with all your must-dos. What are the hardest things you got to do that day? So that if you do have to clock out, your whole list isn't done, you don't feel that guilt. So you don't feel like you have to do it before bedtime. And journal before you go to bed. I do this. My business ideas always come to me either in the shower or right before I go to bed. So I'll give my brain that dump and write down all my creative thoughts, so I'm not thinking about it at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it's weird because we always thought technology was supposed to make our lives better, but what we're doing is now we're connected all the time. You have to stop working.
100%.
Right?
100%.
We have heard of this one, turn off your screen 1 hour before bed. I don't know how many of us are doing it. I'm pretty good about it because I read before bed. But why is this important?
So I'm pretty good about it too. That is one big rule that we have in our house. Here's the thing, not all tech is created equal. So not all tech is bad. I think if you are someone who knows, okay, I really need to make some changes to my sleep health, removing tech is the best thing you can do. Because like we just said, we're always connected. So do like a family docking station in your home outside of your bedroom where you can plug in all your devices. If you're someone where you're like, you know, I need to make some changes, just set boundaries. Like What's your favorite show? What's your feel-good show?
There's so many. I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Okay.
Like, I can watch that all day, all night.
Okay, so this isn't me giving you permission to do that.
Okay.
To watch till like 2 in the morning. But if one episode's gonna help you like forget your day because you just had a lousy day, watch an episode. Like that's okay to do. Connect with the friends that fill your tank, not with the ones that empty it. You know, and there's also great tech like meditation apps, mindful thinking apps, mindful breathing apps that can help you sleep better too.
I now collect the kids' phones and plug them into my room, and my phone is in the kitchen. So now nobody's got a phone.
And we have teens, and that's not always
I've got
hard
teens.
to do.
I've got to collect them now. I never thought I was going to be that kind of parent, but it's like, no, they're with me now, and there's a limit, you know?
Absolutely.
Let's talk about the alarm clock. So you've got to rule a little bit about our alarm clocks, something we shouldn't be doing.
Yes, so 0 on the sleep rules is never hit that snooze button. And I know that that's hard. It can be hard for me as well sometimes. But here's the thing, a full cycle of sleep for an adult is anywhere between 90 to 110 minutes. So when we are waking up and then hitting the snooze button and drifting back into sleep, we are entering a full cycle of sleep, but we're waking up 9 minutes into that cycle. So this again is that sleep inertia, right? We're waking up feeling groggy and foggy.
Right.
Worse than when the alarm originally went off. And it takes 4 hours to kind of slug off that feeling of sleep inertia. So we're not doing our body or mind any favors by hitting that snooze button. So this is where we want to avoid doing that. Set your alarm clock away from your bed so that when it goes off, you have to physically get out of bed and turn it off, and then chances
that's painful.
It is painful.
But it's better.
It is better for you. You'll feel better.
Yeah.
You'll feel more refreshed.
Get up the first time. Talk to me about the witching hour. So there seems to be this time in night where people are waking up. What's that all about?
That 3 to 4 a.m. wake up is very common. So in the year 1535, the Catholic Church forbade the term witching hour, comes from where the Catholic Church forbade anyone between 3 to 4 a.m. to do any kind of activities because they thought that was like the witchcraft hours, right? But that time is a very common time for individuals to wake up for a few reasons. One is if you do wake up at that time and you fall asleep pretty well, don't worry about it. Like, it's not a big deal. The reason why we could be waking up is maybe, back in the day, we slept in segmented sleep. Our ancestors didn't need less sleep, but they would have the first sleep, and then they would do things, and then they would have the second sleep. But with modern world, with gaslighting and now iPhones, we are pushing our bedtime later, and now we just have the one sleep.
Got it.
Also, with our intervals of sleep, with our cycle of sleep, 4 to 4.5 hours into the night, we tend to sleep in a lighter state of sleep. Which means around that 3 a.m. wake up, when we're cycling into that next cycle of sleep, we wake up more. So if we have a lot on the mind, if we have a lot going on, we tend to wake up more. And then we think we have a problem at that time. Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about if you wake up, how do we get back down? Or what do we need to be thinking about if we are waking up nightly?
So this is where we need to find out what are the reasons why we're waking up at this time. So one is, could it be low blood sugar? So if you're having dinner earlier in the night and then, 4 or 5 hours going to bed, do we need to stabilize our blood sugar? So maybe have like a bedtime snack before you go to bed to keep those blood sugar levels stabilized. Do you have to pee? How is your temperature?
Every night.
Every night. And listen, when you're sleeping, your body can only really focus on one thing. We want it to focus on sleeping well, getting good quality. So limit your liquid intake. Making sure you're using proper bedding, proper pajamas, so you're not busy kind of regulating your temperature. Are we working on stress management? We've talked about this a few times, right? We need to schedule time throughout the day to stress out so that we're not doing it at 3 o'clock in the morning. So working on stress management tools. And then are you actually going to bed too soon? A lot of my clients will say, I'm waking up at 3 a.m., but they're going to sleep at 9 p.m. That's 6 hours of sleep. So that could be your body telling you, I'm good. I'm ready to get up.
Okay.
So do we need to actually make that bedtime a bit later?
Oh, that's cool. Okay. I love that. There's so much to consider.
So much.
One little controversial piece of advice. Do you think that you should just not pee and hold it? I've heard that before.
Okay, and
because getting up is going to be so disruptive. Like, don't pee.
I'm a big like release the bladder kind of girl, right?
You can't focus on anything.
No, you can't. And again, you don't want your body busy working on like holding your bladder because you're not going to get a good night's sleep.
Fair.
Yeah.
Alanna, thank you so much for that. Wouldn't we all like to bring tranquility to our evenings with soft, radiant, and well-rested skin while we sleep? Of course. Majestic's Organics is a silky, non-greasy, and nourishing sleep-toned bedtime essential facial oil. Sounds beautiful, and you're all going to take one home, so you enjoy that.